So what happens when you get stuck with all of this? What's happening, guys? Today I want to talk about one of the biggest challenges or almost threats to any e-commerce or Amazon FBA business. Now, every single seller is going to have failed products. They just do happen. It's going to happen at some point when something doesn't sell as well as you thought it would. Now, with money invested in that stock, that actually creates a problem. But here's the thing people forget. Choosing the wrong product is not actually the problem. It's having too much stock that you can't move of that product. So today I'm going to be showing you the #1 method for moving that stock so that you can gain back as much of your capital as possible, but also as quickly as possible. And time is important, as you'll see. But I'm going to show you how to do that so that you can move on to greener pastures as quickly as possible and with that newfound experience in tow. Enter Rebate. Now, this platform is better known for its launching use case, but they recently just launched a new feature which is called discount campaigns. And best of all is that currently this is totally free to do, so there are no platform fees for setting up a discount campaign. Now, before I explain exactly what a discount campaign is and exactly how to set it up, I want to explain the problem that this aims to solve. More of the problem around having inventory you can't move and why time is also important. And I know some of you might not have this problem right now, but it's very important to have something on board for this in case it happens in the future. Now, when you have inventory you can't move, the problem lies in two areas. #1 is time, and #2 is cash flow. So let's start with time. The first thing is you have inventory, probably at an Amazon fulfillment center, and that's accruing monthly storage fees. And every month you get closer to the 6-month long-term storage fee. All of those fees are decreasing your end profitability. And secondly, cash flow. So here you have inventory standing and capital invested in that inventory. You can't move that inventory, and so that cash is trapped in that stock. That's cash you could be using to reorder your more profitable or successful SKUs. It's cash you could be using on the next product where you apply the learnings from this product. And I cover a lot more on cash flow up in this video here. So what do most sellers do in these situations? Well, the existing solutions are pretty bad, to be honest. You're going to be choosing between removal orders or disposal orders. Now, with most people operating their businesses from home, a removal order means you're going to fill up your entire garage or basement with that inventory. And if you're an international seller, or you choose just not to do the removal, you could do a disposal order with Amazon where they'll dispose that inventory. But keep in mind that's a total loss on the value of that inventory plus a disposal fee. Now, if you don't follow those paths, you might choose to heavily discount your product on Amazon, whether through lowering the price or running a coupon, and that is an option here. The problem is it's not selling well, which means it doesn't rank well, which means if you're on page 5 or 6 or 7 or deeper, no one is going to see that offer. There's no visibility, even though it's a good deal. And so very often these strategies fall short of actually moving that inventory. Now, sure, you could also run PPC ads and push it to the top, but you have to consider how many clicks are you going to get which aren't going to convert, and you could be doing that for months. PPC is a very, very big expense, especially with newer products, and even more so if that product is not desirable. And so when you add all of that up, that you've shaved the price of the product, that you're running ads which can be very expensive, you got your monthly storage fees, when you add all of that up, you're taking a significant loss on that inventory. So realistically, what should your objective be at this point? Your objective should be to break even or even take a slight loss, but do that as quick as possible. So what are rebate discount campaigns and how do they solve this problem? Well, the first thing is when you do create a discount campaign on rebate, that is going to be seen by thousands of rebate shoppers. So we're fixing the visibility problem instantly. And that's a really big advantage here because the alternative would be heavy PPC on Amazon. You're not having to pay for that here. And so now you're visible If you offer a significant discount here, 50%, maybe even a little bit more, you're going to get a considerable amount of sales. So you're going to begin moving that stock very, very quickly, regaining as much of your capital as possible. And then you're ready to move on to the next opportunity or to direct that cash flow into your successful products. So let's say that the profit margin on your product is 40%. If you're offering 50% off, you're making a loss of 10%. But if you factor in the savings in monthly storage fees, in potentially hitting long-term storage fees, in running PPC ads, in everything else, you're probably taking less of a loss here. And then you also need to factor in the fact that you're getting that cash back more quickly. So what's the value on that? On being able to reinvest in successful products or move that cash into a better product, something else which you believe will work because you've applied the learnings from this failed product. And another notable mention here are the different types of campaigns you can create on rebate for this. You could have a single level promotion, promotes your product, buy one unit, get this amount off, or you could actually have a tiered approach. You could have a tiered discount where if they buy 1x% off, 2x% off, and 3x% off, or whatever you want to do there. So if your product is in a niche where people want to buy many of them, they want to bulk purchase, that's an option you can set up here as well, and that's going to move your inventory even faster. So enough rambling, how do we actually set this up? So I'm going to show you that on screen. And so this is rebate.com. So you can sign up here, and this is how we can create a campaign. On the dashboard, we're simply going to come to new campaign, and then we're going to choose the discount campaign. The rebate campaign is known very well for launching, but we're going to look at discount campaign. Here we can see the process, product info, discount info, and then we're going to review and activate this. Here you want to upload images of your product, and then you want to specify where your product is listed. So in this case, Amazon.com in the US. But do note it could be on any of these other platforms as well. And then you want to drop in the ASIN from your listing. Then you can also autofill from the listing. So if we click this, it's going to collect that data. So there you go. It's already auto pulled that in. And you can see bullet points, etc. Here, you can of course also put this in yourself and customize it. It's also selected the closest category, but we can customize that here. And then over here, we can input a keyword phrase that's going to help shoppers on rebate find our product. So this is the people who subscribe here to get good deals on products. What would they likely search? And if we were a result to that search, how relevant are we or likely are we to convert? So for example, here we have a whiskey gift set. That's probably going to be a good result for gift for men, gifts for men, men gifts, etc. So really think about your product and what in general people might search a site like this for. And then URL link. So you can actually create your own URL here. Now, in some cases, you would use a field like this to super URL your product to make it rank for keywords or on Google. Remember, in this case, we're really trying to liquidate stock. So it really doesn't matter. You could just have a link to your listing. And you do want to give this campaign a name. So it could be whiskey gift set liquidation campaign, etc. Then we can move to the next step. So this is our discount information. Now, sales price, that's actually going to be your listing's current active price on Amazon. And this is where we get to the tiers. So buy at least one unit. This is going to be your normal standard campaign where they have to obviously buy one. How much do they get off? You can input a number here. I recommend that you put this at 50%. That's just going to help you liquidate much faster. And as we've gone through, if your profit margin is not too bad in terms of your initial calculation, you could break even here or just lose around 10%. But factoring in time or the alternatives of running, PPC, etc., means this is not too bad. Then we can add a tier here, and then we could input 2 here and perhaps give a 55. Or you could have 30% off here, 40% here for 2 and 50% off for 3. It's really up to you. Personally, I think it depends on your product type. If it's something people bulk purchase, then that's going to be a better option to have multiple tiers. If it's something where people generally buy one, then it's going to be better to have a bigger discount on the purchase of one. That's going to help you move stock quicker. So for this product type, which is really often a singular purchase, it's probably best that we have a single tier. And then here we have this run until pause. So no end date, will come in and stop it when we're ready. If you do uncheck that, you can actually set a certain date here where the campaign will end. So when it comes to this code, you actually have to set this up yourself. Now, different platforms will have different code setups, but for Amazon, this is how you can do this. Come over to Seller Central, and then you're going to go over advertising and promotions. And once you click through to promotions, you're going to see this screen where you have different types of promotions. Now, the one you want to choose here is percentage off. You can see this works very well with the rebate system because we can also do a tiered discount. So if we click through to create, so in setting this up, the buyer purchases at least one item in this case, and we want to create a new product selection. We want to choose the product. We want to choose our product on Amazon that's related to this campaign, the one we want to liquidate. So we click on this. Over here, we are going to click this drop down, and then you can choose ASIN or SKU. ASIN's quite easy, and create product selection. And then here you're going to drop in the product selection name and the internal description. That's just for you to track this. So for example, whiskey liquidation. And then you're going to drop in that ASIN. So if it's related to one product, which it probably is, you drop in that one ASIN and submit. And then you have a product selection. Then back over here, purchased items, we can actually click this drop down and choose that product selection, which would be whiskey liquidation, and the buyer gets a percent off of 50%, and it applies to purchased items. So that's all good. Now here is where you can implement the tiers. So you can see one item 50%, we can add, so we could have 3 items 55%, or maybe you did the other tactic where 30% off 1, 40 off 2, 50 off 3. If your product is in that type of niche. But you can also add these here, and that's why these systems work well. Further down the page, start date, whenever you're starting this, likely today when you're creating it. The end date, make sure this is quite far off in the future, maybe just put it 2 months out if you are liquidating everything. And then internal and tracking ID. Again, keep it really simple, probably similar to your product selection internal name. Then important is the type of claim code you use. You can see if we choose single use, we don't actually get a claim code name. And so we have nothing to actually put into rebate, but that would be 1 use per customer. If we go to group, we do actually get a claim code, and we can suggest a code even here. So we are going to be using a group code. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you're ever doing this outside of a liquidation strategy, you do want to use single use. The problem with group codes is they can go viral on social media. And so let's say you have like a 70% off promotion and you want to use it for, let's say, 20 people who you believe would probably review your product. Well, you don't want that to go viral and for all your inventory to sell at 70% off. That's why group codes are a little bit riskier. But in this case, we would love for it to go viral because we're trying to liquidate the stock. So it's not a problem here. This is the code you're going to use. And related to that, while I'm on that point, if we open customize messaging, you can see here detail page, display text. Now, if you're ever doing this outside of liquidation, make sure that's turned off because again, that's going to show it on your display page. It's going to show it on your listing. And that's something you might want to control in other promotions. In this case, we're definitely going to leave that ticked because we're trying to liquidate the stock. So if someone just scrolling through Amazon finds our listing, they will also see that discount, and that's great. Now here you can actually adapt your code. So suggest a code and you can see it just keeps changing. So you can just click that till there's one you like or a simpler one, and that's going to be your code. Now, claim code combinability. This is important and for all campaigns you run. If it's set to preferential, what this means is that it is going to prefer the best discount for the customer only. So let's say there's a way that they can get 20% off the product or 30 or 40. They are going to get 40% only off of the product. They're not going to get 20 plus 30 plus 40, which is something that can happen with unrestricted, so that they can all be pushed together, which of course can be a problem. Preferential gives them the best one. So in this case, preferential is going to be fine for us. And so I'm not actually going to send this live now, but now you have your code. So copy this. This is the code anyone can use. Remember, group, there is no quantity limit, so anyone can use that code. So that's what you need. And at this point, you can then review and approve that campaign. Then it's going to go live. And this is the code we're going to put into rebate. So back on rebate, we drop that code in. I verified all code submitted function, and that's the discount that they're going to get, because it is in this case. Remember, if you have other tiers, you're going to drop in those other codes. You're going to set up the tiers on that Amazon promotion page, and in the same way, put in your codes here. And then we get to the final page here, campaign summary. So we can see if they buy one or more units, that's what they're going to get off. And here's the code. Now you can see here, rebate actually mentions the codes. You can see that the codes must be active, and the rebate percentage should match the discount on the marketplace, wherever you're setting this up from. For example, Amazon. And then you can see here, it's your responsibility to ensure they're not all combinable. So that's your responsibility. It's not rebate's fault if somehow you set those up wrong. So just take a bit of time there. And remember, in this case, it's not such a big problem because we do want to liquidate the stock. So we're okay putting this at 50% off at the current price of our offer on Amazon. And then if you're happy, you can confirm. And this campaign is actually then going to go live. And then remember, all those individuals who subscribe to rebate, who are looking for good discounts on products, on great deals, they're going to be able to see your product, use this code at checkout, and you're going to begin moving that inventory really quickly. And you're getting all that visibility without running PPC. And so once we've hit confirm, you can see our campaign's been submitted. It will get reviewed, but then we'll get an email as to whether it's live or not and why. So we can return to the dashboard. And so we can see it's currently paused, but that will go active. Then you can see here's our campaign, and then we can see rebate percentage, units per day, units we move through the full campaign, how many are redeemed, and the units remaining. So this is how we can actually keep track of how this is performing for us. Try and move that inventory as quick as possible. Remember guys, this is totally free currently. There's no platform fee for actually setting this up, getting this visibility, getting access to those rebate shoppers. Now remember, it might become a paid feature in the future, but this is definitely something that you want to keep in mind, whether for now or for the future, because failed products are just a part of the process. And as per usual, if you found this helpful, please drop us a quick like, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I hope this does help you if you do land up in this type of unfortunate position, but I wish you many successful products, and I'll catch you in the next video.